progress.
Report on KBLA Talk 1580, where we bring you the latest in entertainment news, trending topics, and interviews. My name is Robin Ayers, your host of this show, The Rob Report. Wow. Happy birthday to Tevin Campbell. I guess it's Scorpio gang again. It's fine, Andy, fine. He wants to try to, double down and rep the Scorpio gang. It's still Libra gang over here. But anyway, I love Tevin Campbell. So, happy birthday to Tevin Campbell, wherever he is in the world. Wow, it is Tuesday. And if you guys have seen already, I told you earlier that I was not going to be in studio, that I am here, but it's audio only. So I hope you guys are still tapping in with us. There's been a lot going on, but like I mentioned, I am in St. Louis. I am not there, but I've been paying attention a little bit to what's been going on. And it's still a little bit of, hecticness. It's always a little crazy inside the entertainment world. But nonetheless, I am excited to get into our show today because I have the fabulous Whitley Yates, who is joining me today. Let's just go ahead and Whitley, how are you today? You look, first of all, they can't see us, but I see you. You look fantastic. You look beautiful. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling as good as I look.
Ooh.
I'm feeling as good as I look. Excited to jump into these topics, culture crash, and talk about what's going on with the people.
I love that. She said, as good as she looks. Listen, I've been traveling all day, so I do not look as fabulous as you do, but you holding it down for both of us, so I appreciate that. By the way, Whitley, when is your birthday? What month is it?
March 4th, Pisces gang.
Okay, so when it's Pisces season, I'll make sure that I go ahead and rep you real hard. The way that I've been repping Libra season, and Andy clearly doesn't want to have anything to do with us Libras. He is Scorpio gang. So
I bet he is a Libra. Libras are the best.
Okay. This is
not the most decisive, but definitely they're the down friends. They're going to tell you how they're going to stick beside you, but also tell you when you're wrong.
Yes. Yes, big fact.
With loyalty.
I have a friend actually here in St. Louis who we share the same exact birthday. And that's something we've always said, like we are so indecisive as Libras, but we are down. We are down. We hold it down. We are creative. We're all the things. So I think if you have a Libra in your life, go ahead and celebrate them. And Whitley, she puts her stamp of approval on that. Yes, very, very good. Well, again, like I said, there are a lot of things going on. I don't have a ton of updates, but what I will say is I woke up to this news of Ray J. Really, I don't know what's going on. I do not understand what's going on with Ray J. He wakes up pretty much threatening Pastor Jamal Bryant, who's in Atlanta. He's a pastor, for goodness sakes. Ray J is basically threatening him that Pastor Jamal Bryant better not put out this interview that, according to him, they had already filmed. He says that it's just basically not a good look, and he says he is threatening to snatch him off of off the pulpit if he puts out the interview. So obviously, I'm getting a bunch of text messages. People think I got the scoop, and I did not have the scoop today, but. But seriously though, Whitley, I don't know if you saw that. Do you have some concerns right now for Ray J? Because I know it's been a little touch and go, a little hit and miss lately.
Listen, I know that Pastor Jamal Bryant, who used to be married to Giselle Bryant from Real Housewives of Potomac, has a podcast called Let's Be Clear. And allegedly, Ray J was on the podcast. Let's be clear.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened, what didn't happen, or what is supposed to happen. But what I will say is he has threatened that if he releases this interview, that he's going to snatch him off the pulpit. And now it just makes us want to see the interview even more. Like, what did you say? What was the tea that you spilled? And why don't you want the public to know now? Now, Jamal
Great
Bryant,
point.
while he is a pastor, he has been known to go back and forth. He's been known to go back and forth with people. He's been known to have a little cat himself. And so I would not be surprised if he responds by dropping the interview.
By dropping the interview. You know what? You actually mentioned that's a great point. Number one, that it makes us want to see the interview a little bit more. We're much more curious because we're like, Ray J, what's in this interview that you do not want to be seen? But Pastor Jamal Bryant did actually respond, and he says, of course, he is to a certain degree going to honor Ray J's request. There have been some things that they've edited out of this interview, which he says he never does. But for the sake of honoring Ray J's request, he's done that. But he's also saying, listen, I stay true to the game. I'm true to my people. So I'm, for the most part, I'm going to keep it as is. He's saying, I'm standing on 10 toes. I'm standing 10 toes down. This is what he's saying. So, but you also brought up another point. I wonder if this was a strategic move. If I don't know Ray J for anything else, I know him to be a strategist. He is very good in that way. And so maybe this could be a ploy to get the rest of us who did not know that this interview was even going to happen tuned in when they finally do drop it. Is that a possibility?
It is. In the marketing book of 50 Cent and Rotimi, like, we've seen this before where you create manufactured beef so that songs do well and things do well, and both of you guys benefit. Meanwhile, we're caught in the crosshairs of your manufacturer momentum. Do you like each other? Do you hate each other? Do you want to date each other? I don't know. We are just trying to figure out the tea and get it spilled. I do think it's interesting that he said he edited some stuff out. However, he's staying true to the game, which alludes us that he's going to drop the interview. And so I wonder if this has anything to do with him getting a divorce from Princess Love, if he said anything that could possibly go in the opposite direction of his divorce, if he admits to anything. I think it's really interesting when the clergy now become journalists. The intersectionality, since everybody, from the pulpit to the podcast, everybody's got media now. So I do think it's interesting, their journalistic integrity. Usually if a source wants to pull back or doesn't want to speak, or you've interviewed someone, usually a journalist says, okay, well, if you're not comfortable with it, I don't have the approval. Unless you've signed paperwork ahead of time, then they don't have to. But in the era of clicks and clout, he's probably going to air it.
He is probably going to air it, and I'm probably going to watch just because I'm going to see what's up. We're going to find out what's going on and what Ray J did not want to be seen in this interview. He also shouted out Vaughn Alvarez, who I know is a publicist down there and probably has something to do with setting up this interview. But, all in all, I hope everybody is doing well. Stay safe out here in these streets. It gets real. Andy, can we just go ahead and jump straight into the Raw report?
Now it's time for a breakdown.
Okay, so Uncle Denzel is out here, y'all. Uncle Denzel is out here. He is doing his promotions for Gladiator 2. And speaking of Gladiator 2, I will have tickets for you guys who are listening, who want to see an advanced screening of this. We are going to get to that sometime soon. So y'all make sure you stay tapped in. But yes, Denzel Washington, he kind of set off the news today. Everybody was very excited because he announced that Ryan Coogler, who is the director of Black Panther, has basically created a spot for him within the next Black Panther film. And that has so many of us hyped, and amped up. And so I'm very excited about that. But he also laid out pretty much the remainder of his career. I want to talk about that. And he's nearing 70 years old. Basically, is it his time? Do we agree with this? Do we not agree with this? Where do we all stand with it? And then in hopes of continuing to see him go further with his career, or is it time for Denzel to finally hand off that baton to someone else? We'll talk about that, but we're also going to talk about Charlamagne the God and Raekwon, who are getting into the cannabis business. I have questions about this. I have questions. There are still people locked up for cannabis, for their involvement in cannabis, but it's becoming a really big, thriving business. How do we feel about that? How do we feel about that? We're going to discuss it more on the other side with one of my very favorite contributors, Whitley Yates, who we've got with us. I want you guys to stay right there tuned in. You are listening to The Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay there.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? It's your girl Takara Williams here with Robin Ayers on the Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580. If you ain't here, baby, hurry up.
You're inside the Rob Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
The following is not a contest and is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways for the purpose of soliciting sales or vacation ownership. For complete details, please visit fvgradio.com. If you want a complimentary stay in Cancun at a luxury resort, then Family Vacation Getaways may have your ticket to paradise. We're giving away a 5-day and 4-night stay to the first qualified 50 callers who can name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. An animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. Do you know it? Call now, 800-868-6431, 800-868-6431. You may also be eligible for an exciting bonus vacation to Orlando, Florida for just $398. And don't worry about anything ruining your plans. We can extend your travel up to 18 months. Name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird, and you may be eligible to get a complimentary Cancun resort stay and an optional bonus vacation to Orlando for just $398. What are you waiting for? Call 800-868-6431. Again, call 800-868-6431 and give us your answer.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Mommy, want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with Dayquil VapoCool. It's Dayquil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is Dayquil VapoCool.
Dayquil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
Slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news.
You're inside the Rob
Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes, and you are not listening to Robin Ayers by herself. I am joined with Whitley Yates, who is on the line with me today, looking as gorgeous as she wants to look. I'm sure she will, pop out at some point because she looks amazing. Listen, I have right now, I want to ask you guys, Raw Squad, I see you over here in our YouTube chat. I have to know, are we ready for Denzel to just actually retire and pass the baton to someone else? Or do you feel like Denzel should just go ahead and just make it last, stretch it out, brother, for eternity, for as long as he can? Where do you sit with that? I know you guys are pretty tied in that right now. I'm going to leave that up there, but I want to play for you the way that he laid out his plans of what he wants to do with his career and when he is going to actually retire. Let's take a listen to it and let you decide for yourself.
I don't know how many more films I'm going to make. It's probably not that many.
I want to do things I haven't done. I played Othello at 22. I'm about to play Othello at 70. After that, I'm playing Hannibal. After that, I've been talking with Steve McQueen about a film. After that, Ryan Coogler is writing a part for me in the next Black Panther. After that, I'm going to do the film Othello. After that, I'm going to do King Lear. After that, I'm going to retire.
Well, first of all, he laid out quite a few films and they sound absolutely amazing. Whitley, I am a huge Denzel fan. I don't know too many people who aren't. I'm excited to hear him list out, some of the things that he's got coming up. He said Othello again. He is going to be playing Hannibal, which is amazing. And then he talked about Black Panther. Are you one of those people who feels like Denzel should just try to just make it last, or do you feel like it's time to pass the baton?
I think that with someone that has a career as vast as his, that if he says it's his time, then I'm going to agree with him. He has produced, he has directed, and he has starred in some of the most amazing films with a range of characters and a range of personalities, and always on. I've never seen a Denzel Washington film where he did not hit. He has no misses. He's 100 for 100. Okay. Woo! And so I think the beauty in this is he has an extra strategy. He has a plan already. He knows his next 8 projects right now and has a strategy of when he is going to exit and leave. And I think that that's so beautiful, because anyone else coming up in the acting game knows that there will be a void once he's gone. So how are we building up a bench of talent, a bench of Black talent to fill the void?
You said it perfectly. Not to mention, he has his own sons who are in the industry. His children, all of his children are somehow tied into the business. He has 2 sons right now who just completed their film, The Piano Lesson, that we just talked about recently. And first of all, I don't know if you're very familiar with John David Washington, his one son who is an actor. He speaks just like Denzel, but he looks just like his mother, Pauletta Washington. But passing the baton on to them as well, I do agree with you. I mean, who am I to hold somebody back if they're ready to exit out of their very illustrious career? I don't want to hold them back. It's just maybe I feel like, we always talk about the fact that we lose all of these icons. We lose these legends, and what we're left with this body of work. It's a brilliant body of work, but maybe it's me who I just have so much skin in the game. I have so much invested, and we all do. And you just want to hold on to it as long as possible. So I do understand that. Forrest Harrison over in our YouTube says, I think he feels like he's ready. Maybe he'll pop up in small parts from time to time, which is true. Real Justin, Alina says he's definitely ready. I'll agree with him on that. Denzel absolutely is the GOAT. Who is next in his footsteps? I hate to say it. I hate to ask the question of, the comparison thing, but do you feel like we have another Denzel in our pocket right now?
Ugh. This is what I'll say. When Denzel was early in his career, nobody thought that he would be where he is now, right?
Yep.
And so I think when you're looking at a full body of work, the more work that they produce, the more that we garner that love for the art. And so it's really hard to say who would and who could. However, I'm excited to see how everybody basically shows up. I'm excited to see how new roles are created because he has blazed a trail. And so who comes up after him, whether that be his son, which I remember he was in Tenet, I believe, and Black Klansman.
Yes.
Yes. And so it's interesting that they have followed in his footsteps, but also made a name and a way for themselves. However, I think there's some really great people that are currently on the scene that I would love to see the dimensionality in their work shift as their career expands.
I'm looking forward to seeing it. Samuel L. Jackson recently said that the Washington Sons are not Nepo babies, even though they have the Washington last name, that they worked very, very hard to get where they are. And so, I mean, at least you have people giving their stamp of approval on you. And I'm sure they've put in the work. You almost have to with a father like Denzel Washington and a mom like Pauletta Washington, whom I mentioned is also an actress. She's actually she had at one point been more established than Denzel, so people don't give her enough credit. But you know, shout out to the kids who are sort of picking up the foot. They're trying to step into the shoes maybe of their parents. Whitley, people had a lot to say about Black Panther 2. When Black Panther 2 came out, I know it was hard because we lost Chadwick Boseman, who obviously was the Black Panther. He was who everyone fell in love with when we watched Black Panther 1. And Black Panther 1 was such a big deal. Everyone went to the theaters in their garb. It was just a whole, you know, big ordeal. So they had a lot to live up to with Black Panther 2 since Chadwick was not there. Denzel enters the chat with Black Panther 3. Do you think that he is going to bring it the justice that we think it is? Because when I tell you this was it was basically trending news today that Denzel is going to be in Black. I thought it was more interesting that he said when he's going to retire, but everyone else thought it was more interesting that he said that he's going to be in the new Black Panther.
I think it's both, but yes, I am excited, especially because I want to see how Ryan incorporates him, considering where we left off in Black Panther 2. We had Angela Bassett, you know, she's no longer with us. Chadwick Boseman is gone. And so how he then incorporates whatever this character is going to be and how it fits into the story, I think is the most exciting, especially because we know the acting is going to be top tier.
Yes.
So knowing that the acting is going to be at the top, who else is going to be able to complement that acting, and what is the story going to be? Because we want to see him. We want to see him on the screen.
We want to see him. And I also would really like to see him as Hannibal. I'm not sure that I recall watching Hannibal. I know what it's about. I get it. But I don't recall watching it thoroughly. Maybe I can sort of piece it together, but I would love to see him in that. And I would love to see him as Othello. He said that he played it before, but he said that he's going to be back. Are you familiar with any of that? Not Denzel work, but are you familiar with those other two projects?
Yes, I'm actually a pretty big Hannibal fan. When I was younger, I liked it. Now I don't really do the scary movies as much, but I love to see his range. I remember the first time that I ever watched Training Day, like it changed my complete perspective. Because before, he was always just like this really great, he's a father figure, he's John Q, he's a great debaters. Like I remember seeing all of these movies where he was just this strong Black male lead, but then seeing him in Training Day, seeing him in American Gangster, I was like, oh, he's a dog. And so seeing him then transition into playing a role such as that is going to be really interesting for us to watch, because I think a lot of times we fall in love with the characters that they play. And a lot of times they end up getting typecast into a specific role, which is why Training Day was so pivotal in his career, to see him as a bad boy, because he's always been saving the day. And he's always been trying to remember the Titans. And he's always been, you know, Creasy and Man on Fire.
Creasy Bear. Yeah.
He's been Inside Man.
Yeah.
I just rewatched him in Deja Vu like 3 days ago. So I think it will be interesting to see the depth of that performance and to see him in a new light. Now, sometimes these actors, they portray people in a new light, and I'll never look at them the same. I'll never, ever
I know.
look at them the same. And I hope that his performance is not that great where I never look at him the same.
Oh my goodness. I'm with you there. Forrest Harrison says Lakeith Stanfield, Michael B. Jordan are two examples. I agree. Lakeith Stanfield, I feel is definitely on the rise, but he's currently underrated. I think he is brilliant as an actor. Michael B. Jordan as well. I agree with you. And he said Morris says we've never seen him in any sex either. Is that like sex scenes on camera? I don't know. I don't know if that's what you mean or not, Morris, but okay, sure. We'll go with that. I think we did see him in Training Day, or yeah, maybe in Training Day. Anyway, are you ready? The question is, are you ready for Denzel to retire and pass the baton? 67% of you say you are ready. I don't know how you guys say that you're ready. I'm not necessarily ready, but we do know that we probably have maybe 5 years with all of those things that he has listed out that he's going to be, all of his projects. We probably have a little bit more time with Denzel. Well, when we come forward, we are going to get into this cannabis conversation. Are y'all ready for it? We got to talk about that. What is it? What is it going to become? And what should we do about the past? We'll talk about it all on the other side. But right now we've got news, traffic, and sports. You are listening to the Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay there.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl BB, and you're listening to me on the Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of the Rob Report with Robin Ayers when we come forward.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 things you should know from BIN News. Black sports analyst Michael Strahan did not put his hand over his heart during the national anthem at Sunday's NFL on Fox broadcast, and that did not sit well with some people online. Many thought it was disrespectful, particularly for a Veterans Day program. A New York judge has delayed a decision on dismissing President-elect Trump's hush money conviction, giving prosecutors until November 19th to respond. Melania Trump declined First Lady Joe Biden's tea invitation, reportedly due to the Mar-a-Lago raid in her husband's classified documents case. President Biden will host President-elect Trump at the White House tomorrow. And the daughter of longtime Black Texas lawmaker Sheila Jackson Lee is taking the oath of office today in Washington, D.C. to finish her late mother's last term in Congress. Erica Lee Carter won a special election following Jackson Lee's death in July at age 74. Carter will finish her mother's final term, which ends in January. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
SIG alert's been issued over in Eagle Rock as 2 right lanes remain blocked with a severe accident. Stop traffic is now coming from Bob Hope Drive over 55 minutes for those on the 134 East before Colorado Boulevard, Figueroa Street interchange. Over in Artesia, an accident involving a hit and run is on the right shoulder of the 91 East before Pioneer Boulevard. A 40-minute backup is running heavy from Main Street in the Carson area. Stall is finally cleared from Southgate 710 North before Firestone Boulevard, but a 55-minute traffic jam in recovery still runs heavy from the 405. And if you're in Azusa, an accident is currently on the right shoulder with slowing from Lone Hill Avenue on the 210 West after Vernon Avenue.
September 15th to 21st is Asthma Peak Week with the highest concentration of asthma flare-ups and hospitalizations. To become a more active participant in your care, visit luma-edu.com. This message is brought to you by Amgen and AstraZeneca.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
A troubling trend for Clippers owner Steve Ballmer and his new arena, the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. Since the Clippers' home opener against Phoenix on October 23rd, the Clippers have not had a sellout in their last 6 home games. Capacity for the Intuit Dome is 18,300. In the last 6 home games, the Clippers are averaging a little over 16,000 fans. Not a bad number. A lot of NBA teams would welcome that average, but Ballmer was envisioning sellout crowds every night in his $2 billion arena. With star power an issue on the Clippers roster, Ballmer may have to lower his expectations. A sellout crowd is expected tonight at Golden State for their home game against Dallas. It's the first return of Klay Thompson against his former team. Thompson, who signed with Dallas as a free agent in the summer, played 11 seasons with Golden State and helped them win 4 NBA championships. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Are you an entrepreneur looking to take your business to new heights? KBLA Talk 1580 is your partner in success. Every day, we celebrate and elevate Black-owned businesses across our community. Our KBLA SMB Marketplace currently features The Cookie Dip, Bad Ash Bakes, Hair Concoction, Higher Education Accreditation Consulting, LACC Radiology Technology Department, and Malik Books. Your business deserves to be heard. Let KBLA Talk 1580 amplify your voice and connect you with our powerful community of listeners. Email smb@kbla1580.com today. That's smb@kbla1580.com. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black. If we're the ones disproportionately impacted by these climate catastrophes, why should we be silent? Turning up the volume all year long on the climate conversation for KBLA Talk 1580.
Add confidence to every holiday adventure and get it done with a rugged and capable Chevy truck or SUV. Find your red tag. Get 0% APR financing for 36 months on select popular Chevy models when you finance with GM Financial. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Offer available on all 2025 Equinox and 2024 Silverado, Equinox EV, Blazer EV, and Silverado EV models. Monthly payment is $2,860 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment 22.2%. Must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 12/2/24.
If you're an adult in need of an accredited high school diploma, the Los Angeles Public Library can help. You could earn one for free in as few as 5 months, online with 24/7 access. You also get a personal academic coach, plus special training focused on 9 in-demand industries, as well as a resume and cover letter to advance your career. Visit the website at lapl.org/diploma. That's lapl.org/diploma.
You've got a Pepto predicament, moviegoer.
Hey, I can hear your stomach grumbling.
Sorry, I ate that entire tub of popcorn with extra butter.
You overdid it, and now your movie has turned into a blockbuster bellyache. Undo it with Pepto.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto chewables provide fast 5-symptom relief, so you can focus on the action on the big screen instead of in your stomach. When you overdo it, undo it with Pepto. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Keeping you informed about what's really going on. Who's got next? And what not to miss in entertainment. You're listening to The Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Marianne, breezy. Yo, chick. What's that on that beat? If your chick come close to me, she ain't going home when she supposed to be. I'm getting money like I'm supposed to be. I'm getting money like I'm supposed to be. Oh, all my close to me, and all the mother knew where they supposed to be. Oh, the whole go for me. How your chicks in the pit like post for me. Oh, that's how I supposed to be. Yeah, that's how I supposed to be. Yeah, that's how I supposed to be. Everything look like it's supposed to be.
You are listening to The Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Happy birthday, Omarion. Scorpio Gang. I'm not mad. I hope they are living it up. I love Omarion. He is such a great performer. I love watching him as a dad, so I'm not mad. And he is the Big 40. Shout out to Omarion, who had apparently a really great party the same night that Warren G had a party. So they were both doing it pretty big. So yeah, living it up out there. If you are just listening and tuned into the Rob Report, we are having this discussion about Denzel, whom we love. We love Denzel, but he has now said his retirement is imminent. It is on the way, but I think we have a few years. He's listed out several projects that he'll be involved in, which I'm so excited about because I'm definitely a Denzel fan. I don't know if I've mentioned this before. I'm probably going to mention it several more times while I have the microphone. But once upon a time, I did have a brief conversation with Denzel. It wasn't even an interview, but it was a brief conversation, and I am just honored. He said my name. He told me it was nice to meet me. It was great. Whitley, I mean, there's a reason to pop my collar, right? Denzel spoke to me.
Put some respect on her name. Denzel knows her by name.
He knows
the GOAT. The GOAT of the golden screen.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Put a little bit of respect on my name because
he may be listening right now.
you never know. You never know. I say this all the time. You know what? When I popped up the other day on Dr. Umar Johnson's page, I said, how did he find us? He found us on YouTube. You never know who is listening. You just never know. So yeah, Dr. Umar. Dr. Umar knows me. He knows me by name as well. Well, I am joined with the Whitley Yates, who is on the line with us today. And as I mentioned before, you guys can hear us. You just can't see us. Not in studio today. I am on a trip in the wonderful city of St. Louis, and I've never been here, but they are treating me well. They are treating me well. So I am on Zoom with Whitley Yates, and she looks gorgeous. But we are having this conversation, getting ready to go into cannabis talk, you guys. Cannabis talk. Right now, I have a poll for you to vote on. Should incarcerated people be freed for previous cannabis use or selling any cannabis? 100% of you right now say yes. Well, this question comes from the fact that Charlamagne the God of the Breakfast Club and Wu-Tang's very own Raekwon are going into business together. They are opening up a cannabis dispensary in New Jersey. And it's just amazing to me, Whitley, that it has been such a boom of business. It's always been, let's be real, whether it was legal or not, but it's been this huge boom for the past several years as several states have begun to, legalize cannabis. But they say they want to bring this for the community. They want to do the opposite of what's been happening over so many years. We have a substantial amount of incarcerated Black and brown men and women who've been arrested and are still incarcerated for their dealings with cannabis. I mean, should the government or the mayors or whomever has to say so do the right thing in sort of reversing some of those charges and getting those people freed out of prison? Is that how you feel?
Absolutely. I think in 2024, there are 24 states that have some type of either recreational or medicinal cannabis. And I think 24 is the recreational number. So there's probably more with medicinal. The issue that I have is if you are in a state that has legalized cannabis in one way or another, and people are still locked up on petty marijuana and cannabis crimes, you did it wrong. You need to lobby at your legislature, and there needs to be grandfathered in some type of clause that allows them to retroactively get out with a condition of expungement for that crime. Because what we shouldn't be doing is locking people up through legislation that is no longer valid while others are making a living off the very same thing that you were condemned and sent to prison for.
What do you think about the fact that people have more power than they know they do? What is the goal then? What is the goal to get the word out to help people understand that they have a bit more power than they think they do?
I think you really have to advocate for yourself in a way that is proactive. And when I say that, what I mean is we should be advocating for what we want done, what we want completed, and agenda items that we want to see within our communities to help our communities thrive and progress. And in order to do that, we have to look at the current systems that we don't like. We have to look at policies that have been predicated on us, and we have to say, I want this to change. It's not only about creating a brighter future, but it's about the atonement and the restitution of fixing what has happened before. It's more than just an apology. It's policies that change what happened before so that everybody can have a brighter future and not just the ones who didn't get caught up in whatever happened in the past.
Yeah, it's a good point. Morris Phillips says Black people were supposed to benefit from dispensaries, remember? Morris Phillips also says weed is financing public education in Las Vegas. I'm not sure. What do you feel about the cannabis industry that is, now thriving all across the U.S., obviously? Is that something that you feel like maybe we're going to see a bit more of, or that might even be an easy way? We talk about entrepreneurship, especially within the Black community, and how it is very much encouraged. And it's an industry, again, whether it was legal or not at some point, it's an industry that especially Black people know quite a bit about. So is that, first of all, do you see that is the trajectory? Like, will it continue to thrive? And then secondly, is that something that you feel like, yeah, it should be, we should get more involved?
I do believe that we should get more involved. And I think that we need to look at this through the dimensionality of what cannabis can be. And when I say that, yes, cannabis legalization is funding roads, streets, bridges, schools. It is funding the budgets of many cities and doing all of this. But what is our stake as a Black community in the industry as a whole? How are we utilizing cannabis in urban agriculture, teaching young kids how to grow, how it increases crops and all of these things? Like, how are we finding our ways into every aspect, not just the dispensary aspect, but in growing and in creating the different strains and getting some utility patents for some of the strains, which you're starting to see a lot of. When it comes to licensing, when it comes to distribution, when it comes to hempcrete, all of these different areas that you can utilize this one flower. I don't know how y'all want to describe it.
Flower is good. Flower is good.
Flower is great. We use flower here in Indiana, but it has so many multifaceted uses. When I found out about hempcrete and how it's so strong, I was blown away. When I found out that after a farmer plants crops for the season, if they plant cannabis or hemp, that they will have a 30% increase in the yield of their crops next year. So there's just many ways in which we can utilize this. And I think we have to stop making it a taboo topic, and we have to begin advocating in a proactive way.
You know, speaking of Pastor Jamal Bryant, and we were just talking about him with Ray J, he went viral last year, I believe it was, for saying that he wanted to grow cannabis crop on the grounds of his church. And he received so much backlash, but he said, listen, if it's going on around in our community, why not bring it here? Why not, give people jobs here and allow that very thing to, be here and us take advantage of it on our actual church campus? What do you feel about that? If churches were to get involved, I mean, right now, I guess it's kind of cool to say Charlamagne the God, and because he's in the hip hop sort of arena. I don't even know why I said that, because he's not a hip hop artist, but he's in the maybe urban.
He's a culture critic. He's a culture critic.
He's of the culture. Similar to Raekwon, you would almost expect them to be involved, or maybe I wouldn't even say expect, but you're not surprised to see when they are involved and they're going to open up dispensaries. But pastors.
Christians and cannabis. I can definitely see the Christians and Cannabis Cafe. I can see the marketing for that.
Christians in cannabis. Wow.
I'm throwing that out there. You guys can have it.
Somebody grab it. Somebody grab that.
Go ahead and trademark that. I think, holy smoke is an interesting idea. I think the way in which he utilizes the crop to bring people to Christ is what I would be most interested in. Like, how are you converting using cannabis? That's all I want to know. And I think teaching it in a respectable, knowledgeable way. I don't know his use history. I do know he lives in Atlanta. I don't know his use history. But if he's able to teach it in a way that helps to produce businesses for his community, that helps to get people out of poverty, I'm not going to be mad at the Holy Smokes pastor for doing that. But if he's just using it as a way to get clout, then I would wholeheartedly dislike that.
Yeah, that's true. Recently we were talking about, I think I announced that I saw that the use of teenage cigarette smokers has decreased dramatically. I think I want to say teenagers, something like that though, has decreased significantly. Cigarettes. I mean, no one's really smoking cigarettes these days. But it also has this negative, nasty stigma attached to it. I think quite the opposite is happening for cannabis, weed smokers. Do you feel like that as well? Like, now that it's becoming more legalized, and Pretty Brown Mimi, I see you over here in the chat, in our YouTube chat. She says legalize recreational marijuana in Florida. I hear you. It doesn't necessarily have that negative stigma that it once did. I feel like It used to be sort of something that you felt like the younger crowd was using, that it was a dirty kind of thing. You smelled like smoke, your lips were black, your fingernails were like all those sort of things. But I feel like we've come away from that. Maybe that's still out there to some degree, but I think we've come away from that quite a bit. Do you feel like that, like, literally it's gonna cigarette smokers and cannabis smokers are gonna completely veer off, and the stigma is going to be different for both of them now?
I definitely think that you are going to see a stigma shift. I think we've already began to see it. I know circa 2014, when I moved to Los Angeles, I was shocked. It was grannies lighting up. I mean, 70, 80 years old. And I was like, well, wait a minute. The consumption was equal opportunity. It was Wahides, it was the Blacks, it was the Latinos. I was like, sparking up. Now, I'm someone that doesn't consume, but it was very eye-opening for me to live in a state that had it legal and to watch some of the elders utilizing it, and then to move back to Indiana where it is illegal. All forms are illegal. It was almost like a culture shock where I felt like it was almost like a regression in society to where, like, oh yeah, you guys have to hide that here because it's not legal, when I'm used to seeing 70 or 80-year-old women sparking up and walking down the boardwalk in Santa Monica. It's just been a completely different experience. And I do think that there will be a stigma shift. And I do see it honestly happening with the vapes. There have been a lot of cannabis vapes where people don't know what it is that you're vaping, and people are just out in public minding their own Black-owned businesses, vaping with their cannabis pens. And I think that is also a part of the stigma shift. The stigma shift, as well as the edibles. The edibles have been elevated. The edibles have been elevated. They're cooking 5-course meals. Michelin chefs are using them. It's not just brownies anymore and cookies, guys. The edibles have elevated.
Totally. And they actually have them in, there's all kinds of things. There's the gummies now. There are, they're the teas and all of the amazing things. But yeah, I do see the stigma changing, and I think that we all agree that go ahead and legalize it and go ahead and get yourself in the cannabis business if it makes sense for you. Whitley, I appreciate you so very much for joining us today. Let everybody know where they can find you online.
Look me up on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Whitley J. Yates, on X, at Whitley J. Yates, on Instagram. It has been a pleasure, Raw Squad. I'll see you next time.
I appreciate you. Definitely enjoy the rest of your night. Raw Squad, stick with us. We are going to continue on the other side. You are listening to KBLA Talk 1580. Stay right there.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy, Lil Rel Howery. Right now, you're listening to KBLA Talk 1580. That's right. The Raw Report.
You're inside the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Join the Black Hollywood Education and Resource Center for a great day in Black Hollywood. Friday, November 15th, 7 p.m. at the Regal LA Live Theaters, downtown Los Angeles. This is the opening night celebration of the 30th annual S.E. Manley African American Short Film Showcase, honoring Deborah Pratt, Lyndon Barrios, Janine Sherman Barrios, Art Sims, Dee Stevens, Gina Lemieux Davis, and Dr. Gloria Zervine. The weekend continues on Saturday, November 16th and November 17th with over 60 short films and industry panels on careers in Hollywood and directors on directing. Get your tickets today at bherc.org or call 323-957-4656. Again, 323-957-4656. See you there. That's bherc.org.
Oh no. Stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Moments like my daughter telling me a new joke mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news. You're inside the Robin Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Well, I truly appreciate Whitley Yates for joining me on today's show, and all of you as well. Well, listen, who we've got for our Who's Got Next is actually not a Who's Got Next. This is who has had it all this time for 98 years. You guys may or may not have heard of the legendary saxophonist Lou Donaldson. He passed away at the age of 98 years old. Talk about a legacy. He lived a beautiful life. We want to go ahead and play a song by Lou Donaldson. This one is called Autumn Nocturne. Check it out. by a beautiful man. Rest in peace to Lou Donaldson. Again, that song, if you are interested in listening to any of his music, that song in particular is called Autumn Nocturne. And yeah. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for joining me on this audio-only show for the night. I will be right back at it tomorrow. Same time, same place. I love you guys. Make sure that you stay tuned because Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, is up next with the Fire Show because that's how he gets down. My name is Robin Ayers, and remember today and every single day forward to be a blessing.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 Things You Should Know from BIN News. The black FEMA worker accused of telling staff to skip hurricane-damaged homes with Trump signs claims it did not just happen in Florida, but also in North Carolina. Former FEMA supervisor Marnie Washington told podcaster Roland Martin she's being made a scapegoat. Jurors in the subway chokehold trial of a New York Marine veteran are back to work after a long week